a sharing of this book by books called Mukundan Riaz, written by Meena Sabnani and illustrated by her. It's a book set in the 1947 when partition happens, and it is about two friends, Mukund and Riaz, who are best of friends, and because of circumstances, they have to move apart. So we've done a read aloud of this book. And it was interesting because after the read aloud, we opened sort of a discussion and into an arts-based activity. The discussion was largely around the feeling or the emotion of longing and people that have, for whatever reasons, moved away from us. And though death was not directly handled, two children responded to this activity from a very different lens. And I thought that sharing would be interesting. I know picture books have a great potential to address some of these difficult emotions, but sometimes unknowingly, when you're not, even talking about death, here these two children felt ready to share. And I just want to give examples. So the art piece, the piece of drawing that you see on the left is by a child who made this drawing. And at the end, I knew that session, many times what we happen when we ask children to draw, we ask them to hold up their, drawings and ask them to explain to a group what that drawing is. But given the sensitivity of the topic and what I knew was playing out as observing very closely what the children were doing, I decided not to do that. It's anyways a practice I'm not very happy with. So it was very quietly for the children to do their drawing, have our closure and move on. With some children, I chose to just ask them more personally, one-on-one, what their drawing was. So these two drawings really stood out for me. On the left, this drawing is by a child who drew her and her sister playing in a garden. And her sister is also part of the library. And I was surprised. I was very happy that, oh, you have drawn your sister. So she said, no, this is not this sister. And I knew from the family that there were only two sisters, and then finally a brother was born. And then she said that this is the sister that I lost in my mom's womb. So this was a story of the child trying to make sense of an abortion in the family, where she thought she lost or has possibly lost a sibling even before the child was born. And for some reason, she knows it was a sister. So I found this very interesting because neither were we talking about death, nor we were talking about abortion, nor we were talking about any of this, but the child felt ready to make this sharing. Similarly, on the right is a drawing by a child who had lost her father very recently by suicide and had in fact witnessed it. And here is a drawing of what initially I thought was her and her mother. But then I remember this process of drawing because she wanted to draw her father, but then she couldn't. So she would draw, she would erase, she would draw, she would erase. And then finally she drew these two figures. And when I asked very gently who they were, and she said that one of them is her mother and the other is the father. The one behind who's left behind is the father, and the one who's in front, who's probably taken on a bigger role in her life, is the mother. So yeah, I just wanted to make these sharings that sometimes, and even this, without having to discuss this too much in detail, just having the opportunity for children to share something that they wouldn't have otherwise found a space to share is the great potential of the art.